Hi guys, I'm Tomáš Lamr. I work as a principal engineer here at PriceFX, which is a global leader of pricing software space. And I'm really happy to be here today at Clojure to tell you our experience report about how we use Clojure and how it saved our office. It all started a year ago. We started to have a problem with our parking spaces. We were a tiny office, we had few of them. You know, here in Europe it's really common that all the buildings are really old and no one expected that there would be so many cars. So the parking spaces here, the offer is really limited, but we had few and it was fine for our tiny startup, but we started to grow really rapidly and more people were coming. And we quite soon got in the situation that people didn't have a place where they can park, which wasn't just a problem for us, but even when there were some visitors or customers coming by car, since we have a lot of customers from Germany and they are coming by cars, we needed to solve it somehow. And we tried, but we failed. So we just rented all the other spaces or places that were available there. So we have more of them, but we started to get into the same problem again, and we needed to solve it in some other new way because people were starting to be really unhappy about that. So how to solve it? You probably already found out 10 technical solution to the problem, but the main thing is that it's not a technical problem at all. If you could solve it somehow, like with some management thing and or some rules, you would be able to need to sort people needs or requirements, and I really don't think that's possible. Yeah, we tried with some reservation system and that stuff, and we failed. It didn't work and never worked, and all the people were really unhappy about it. And there were endless discussions just about such trivial thing as parking keys. So we needed something else, something without management, because we don't want to manage anyone. We are a software company, we would want to make a software, we don't want to manage parking places. And since it was like from us to us mainly, it needed to be fair, like you just need to be treated, or you want to be treated like anyone else. It's just a common thing. CEO, CTO, they should have the same everything like ordinary employee. And there was a requirement like from myself. I usually work on applications that look like the one below, a really complex one doing complex things, and I really wanted to do something different at least once with just a really simple concept like the one above. And that's Holdybot actually. So that's the application written in Clojure and ClojureScript that solves the problem. You can download it from GitHub and use it if you want, or you can use it on this address holdybot.com. There's a demo and you can use it from there. And it looks like this. So basically it looks like a calendar with days in a row here and on the header. The solid border just points to current day. So the days on left are the past dates and the days on the right are the future days. And here in column you see names of people. When the record is actually green, it means that there was some slot assigned to that particular guy and they can park there. And where it's red, they were kicked out or something like that. And the only action I can do here when I log in, I can just click on that header. So I just do this now and I'm brown, which means there is just 10 parking slots and I was 11th, so I wasn't given space, and some older notifications like to email, Slack and Teams were emitted. So if I'm not watching my screen, I can check my email. But if there would be a space, I would be immediately given one and would be here green, and also the header would be green. And for like a future days, I can make these reservation requests, which is what I already done. I can cancel it anytime. I can even cancel these current requests. And just what happens, or what will happen, that marker for current day moves once a day at specified hour. And once this happen, the system will just check these records for past month. Will check all the names listed here that would like to park on that particular day, and those who used the parkings the least will be awarded space. It just maintains some table with points, and usually when I'm talking about this to our business guys, I just say, yeah, it's AI, ML, and they are really happy about it. And that's actually it, and this solved all our issues, so everyone understands how to use it, because there's just a single click and all the corner cases are handled and much more. There's even a UI like for our office manager, because she wants sometimes to manage it, because customers coming, someone else coming, some visitors, and they need to reserve some space for them. So everything is completely doable, all that stuff that you can imagine. We even have some analytics here where you can see some nice charts about past and current things, how's happening, and this can see anyone in company. So if someone feels like I should have been parking today, I should have been awarded this space, how is possible that I didn't win, they can check just with the data. Everything's pretty clear, and it solved all the issues, so there are no discussions about anything, there's no management needed, because you need to do this on your own, and it works tremendously. But in the end, we started to have another problem, and it was a really similar one, and it was a problem with our desks, working desk, office desk in the office. So we spread in the end in the whole floor in the building that where we are, and it's really brilliant place in Prague near city center, like the best one, I guess. And officially we don't have a place for new hires, so if you will join our company, there's officially no place where you can sit in the office, but in reality that's not true, because most of the people work from home. We are a remote first company, and that's probably most of the companies are at least partially remote. So reality check is that there is no bigger occupancy than 50%, and so that's probably a good idea that we can optimize somehow. Otherwise we would need to move to some big building somewhere far away, not that nice area where we are now, and no one wants that. So we try to solve it and check if we can use the same thing, and actually we can. So we have that space definition somewhere here in the settings, and we just added the owner to a space. And on the other calendar here I'm owner of some space, and I see the day as already green, and I can click on it, and the action here means that I'm giving that my desk for that particular day to be granted to anyone. And actually the people that don't own a place here, they see the same way as for parkings, so they can compete. They can be assigned my table from the pool. And this actually also worked tremendously, because it's all based on optionality and on fairness of people. So it's completely, if you own a space, own a desk, it's up to you if you would like to share it with someone or not. If you would like to, you just click here, and people do it because they realize that like company through this software was really nice to them and fair, so they just behave the same way. But mainly we use it like a check who will be in the office and what will happen. There might be some events and that stuff, and that really helps, because you don't need to talk to 20 people just to realize who will be in the office, and you can just check on a single page what's happening there and who will be there. and just decide if you will come or not. Mainly if you are from other office, for example, or you work somewhere else. Okay, so this was the demo. It works for us tremendously, and it's on the internet, so you can just download it and use it. But what I realized, because it was my first Clojure and ClojureScript project, I wasn't used to work with it. Before I just worked on some foreclosure problems, mainly in the REPL, and to me building the app, it was something new, and I followed a lot of discussions about Clojure and learned a lot, and I saw that people are like confused, or they are requiring that there is something like a killer application for Clojure ecosystem, and they believe that it will help somehow. But I found out that there's already one, and I use it, and it's Luminous. Luminous is a template that generates or can generate application that runs in browser with some service to which that application can talk over the wire, and that's actually what I needed to use. That's, some people call these applications business applications and something like that, but that's so a general approach to building anything. You can really build anything this way. And I actually tried before to start a ClojureScript project with all that stuff, but it was really hard for me to pick the right libraries. I didn't understand what I need to glue together and how, and it never fit like my workflow that I wanted with cursive on IntelliJ. And thanks to Luminous, I actually realized that I have something that I can just directly use, and you can just start developing that application, and then if you like or don't like some library, you can just exchange it for another. There's a lot of things handled, like database migrations. There's a nice library for handling this. I discovered Shadow CLJS, which I think is the best thing I've ever seen. There are a lot of other libraries I really start liking, but I wouldn't be able to put them all together by myself because I didn't have the prior experience. So really, to me, it seems like that there is already a killer app, and it follows all the idiomatic approach of how the Clojure apps are built with building from libraries. So I really don't think that there is need to have anything else, and it's right there. And I read and saw that famous statement from the famous talk, Clojure rocks, JavaScript reaches. It's definitely, it was definitely true, but to me, I found out for me it was kind of different, because I'm used to work with backend or write backend services that are mostly stateless. So Clojure on backend was a great fit for me. I really like it, but writing stateless applications in other programming languages, it's not that bad actually. But what was a real game changer for me was definitely ClojureScript. Writing Clojure or ClojureScript with writing a stateful application that is so hard in any language, but when you are doing this in Clojure and ClojureScript and with immutable data, it was such a breeze. And actually with ClojureScript, when I discovered Shadow CLJS, it was so brilliant experience that I never had in my life. I actually working on client projects where we have a GWT application, so transpilation from Java to JavaScript. We have, and I'm working on it, up in Ember and JavaScript. We have the latest app with TypeScript, React, hooks, and all that latest stuffs. But actually, the ClojureScript one I did for this project, it's still light years ahead of everything that people doing JavaScript development or TypeScript development. They think they do the mainstream thing, but it's really silly that they stick to their tools, because when there is something that cool as ClojureScript, Shadow CLJS, and using immutable data, it does not make really sense to me. Like, if I would be now in the situation that I would choose my stack for next client projects, I would definitely jump again on that ClojureScript wagon. And it's a great time to jump into, because there were some new advancements in the ClojureScript compiler itself, and it's really brilliant to see it. And what I really liked was, I know that people usually complain about documentation and it's lacking or it's sparse, but I really like that low noise to signal ratio in documentation. Usually when I was looking for something, it was right there. It was just a sentence or sometimes just a few words, but you know, the real meat was there. And where I usually struggle is with other documentations when there is like a ton of pages, and just to find out any information you need to go to page 1050, and there is like the single sentence or the configuration you need it. And I really like the ClojureScript approach. And what I was really amazed actually by you guys, and I used your libraries and I really loved them. It was really a joy to use them and to see that amazing community of doers, people that do a lot of things. That what I see in Java community, for example, there's just consumers. There's like a really few people doing something, and in ClojureScript community, to see such a live, vibrant, and nice community, nice to each other, that is doing such amazing things. And when I do consider how much things are already done, like you know, the thing with ClojureScript and Reagent, it's here for 4 or 5 years, even more, and it's already done, and for so many years it was so great. It's really inspiring. And I'm really thankful that I could use and learn things from you. I also hope that if you will have some office management problem or sharing some limited resources, you might now use the app that I created, so it might help you if you would need it. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for having me here at Clojure Nord. It was really fun, and see you there. Ciao. Yeah, the next year.